Welcome to Fighting Stats, the ultimate channel for MMA fans who love statistics and betting breakdowns. I'm your host, Art C, and I'm here to get you ready for the upcoming UFC fights. In this series, I'll be watching tape and providing my real time analysis on how I think the fights are going to go. I'll be watching for fighters' strengths, weaknesses, tendencies, and overall strategies, pairing that with Fighting Stats' exclusive UFC stats not available anywhere else to give you a prediction on how I think the fights are going to go and ultimately who's going to win. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Welcome to Fighting Stats. Welcome back to Fighting Stats. I'm your host, Art C, and today we have a very special treat for you. We are breaking down the potential fight between Alex Pereira and Tom Apsinall. I have a feeling that this fight is going to go down at UFC 300. Alex Pereira keeps on hinting at this 3 plus 3 equals 300 sort of thing. For me, Tom Apsinall makes the most sense, obviously, for a headliner. These both guys are ready. We're going to get this fight taped and we're going to get this fight broken down so that when the odds do get released, we're going to get first access to the right line. We're going to get this breakdown going. So first, we're going to get right into the stats. Then we've watched the fight tape on Tom Aspinall. We've watched the fight tape on Alex Pereira. I'm going to get you a breakdown in terms of how I see the fights going. And then I'm going to see if I can pull up the numbers, see where the lines should be. And then that way, when the lines open up, we'll know what is value and then what we need to do if the line is accurate or we need to pass. So let's get this fight started here. This is Alex Pereira in the blue corner. Tom Aspinall is going to be in the red corner. So Alex Pereira is 6-1 in the UFC. 67% of his wins are by KO. 33% of his wins coming by decision. He's lost one loss, and that was by TKO. That was against Israel Adesanya. So on the Aspinall side, he's also 7-1 in the UFC. 71% of his wins coming by KO. 29% of his wins coming from submission. Has not gone to decision yet. 100% of his losses by TKO. That was against Curtis Blades, which was a leg injury, not really fair, but it does count as a TKO loss. All right, so let's get into the Alex Pereira offensive detailed striking here. Alex Pereira, 82% of his shots are going to be at a distance. 14% of them are going to be in the clinch, and only 4% are on the ground. His target breakdown a little bit pretty even here. 54% of the time he's going towards the head, 25% to the body, and 21% to the legs. Mixes up his strikes very well between the legs, head, and body, as you can tell. Striking accuracy, not the greatest head strike accuracy, 48%, which is okay. 82% accuracy towards the body, and 75% towards the legs there. As the strikes or as the rounds go on, Alex Pereira's, it looks like his volume does go up, averaging 29 strikes in round 1, 40 in round 2, 42 in round 3. Takes round 4 off at 29 and then back up to 37 in round 5 there. Mixing up again heads, legs, and body. Looks like the leg strikes dip off a little bit from the first round to the later rounds, whereas the head strikes pick up a little bit. So throughout Alex's career there, he does have 3 knockdowns. 82% of his, again, strikes coming at a distance there. Overall strike accuracy at 61%. And again, big leg kicker here. We saw some big leg kicks against Yuri Prochazka, landing 12 of them. Against Jan Blachowicz, again, 21 of them. Israel Adesanya, 30, 40... Yeah, good 45 leg kicks there against Bruno Silva. So leg kick, definitely one of his weapons there. Defensive striking for Alex Pereira. 88% of his strikes absorbed are at a distance, 8% in the clinch, and 4% on the ground. Attacking Alex Pereira, 75% of his strikes against are towards the head. 14% to the body, and 10% towards the leg. Defensive head strike accuracy, 37% of strikes towards the head land, 58% to the body, and 88% to the leg. So Does take some leg damage there. Average strikes absorbed by round, 33 in round 1, spikes up to round 2 at 47, and then drops down a little bit in rounds 2 and 3 at 37 and 35, 15 in round 5 there. So in his UFC career, he's only been knocked down once. That was in round 5 against Israel Adesanya when Israel beat him there. What else is notable? Leg kicks thrown and landed. Alex Pereira, as much of a big leg kicker he does eat some big leg kicks. Again, Bruno Silva ate him up there for about 30 to 40 leg kicks. Israel Adesanya as well, a bunch of leg kicks there. Yuri Prochazka, not a big leg kicker, but also landed about 6 or 5 there as well. Let's go into the Tom Aspinall offensive striking. So, unlike Alex Pereira there, 57% of Aspinall's striking comes at a distance, 13% in the clinch, and 30% on the ground. So that's a big stat to keep in mind there. 30% of Tom Aspinall's strikes coming from the ground. Target breakdown, 78% towards the head, 10% towards the body, and 12% to the legs. He does have a very fast outside leg kick that he likes to use. Again, 12% of his target breakdown there. Target accuracy a little bit better at 58% head accuracy, 90% body accuracy, and 100% leg accuracy. Has not missed a leg kick yet. Average strikes thrown by round, obviously a little bit skewed with Tom Aspinall having a bunch of round 1 finishes, but 24 strikes on average thrown in round 1, 6 on average in round 2. Again, only really going to round 2 once against Andrei Arlovsky. So overall, a significant strike accuracy, 69%. Nice. Has 4 knockdowns in his UFC career. One against Sergey, Marcin Tybura, one against Spivak, and then against Jake Collier there. Landed again 25 of 25 leg kicks. Good noting there. Okay, defensive striking. Wow. Okay. Defensive striking, 94% of the strikes against are at a distance, 60% on the ground. Has not eaten a ground strike yet. Target breakdown against, 79 strikes against towards the head, 12% to the body, and 9% to the leg. This is what I wowed about. The defensive striking head accuracy, 19%. 19% head defense, so 90% of the strikes coming are thrown at him only land. So 88% to the body and 92% to the leg. That one is worth noting there. Average strikes absorbed by round, again, 16 in round 1, 13 in round 2. But again, those stats a little skewed as he hasn't really gone to the second round. So a couple of things that really stood out there was the head strike accuracy. Not a lot of people have landed on Aspinall here. So looking at the fights, Collier landed 1 head strike, Badot landed 1, Arlovsky landed 8, 1 in round 1, 7 in round 2, Spivak landed 0, Volkov 6, Blades 2, Tybura 2, and Pavlich 1. Aspinall hasn't eaten more than 7 head strikes in a fight. So obviously very good. We've seen him land or eat a big shot from Pavlich and take it, so it's not that his chin is questionable, just his striking defense is very good. He's moving in and out, good head movement, all that on display there. So let's get into the detailed grappling. So I'm very curious to see here. We're gonna hover over the Alex Pereira offensive grappling takedown attempts. He's attempted 1 takedown in his UFC career, 1 being successful against Israel Adesanya in round 2. I remember that one being a little bit catching him off guard there. I believe it was at the end of the round, only 21 seconds of control time from that takedown. Just came out of nowhere, got the takedown, and then hasn't shot again since then. So I don't expect Alex Pereira going to do a lot of shooting. So I'm just going to sort of bypass the grappling, offensive grappling for Alex Pereira. Defensive grappling, though, a big story here. Obviously, a decorated kickboxer. So what do you want to do against a kickboxer is you want to take him down to the ground and see if you can control him. So opponents have tried 54 takedown attempts against. Only 15 of them have been successful. He has given up a lot of control time, though, up against the fence there. Bruno Silva, almost 600 seconds of control time, a lot of to Israel Adesanya again. Jan Blachowicz in round 1, almost 300 seconds. Yuri Prochazka, 2 minutes there of control time as well. So does look like Alex Pereira can get controlled, whether that's on the ground or against the fence there. Has seen 2 sub attempts, both of them from Jan Blachowicz in round number 1, and does not have any reversals there. We did see in the last fight, Alex Pereira against Yuri Prochazka. Yuri Prochazka able to get that takedown in round 1, control him on the ground, land some big elbows there, so worth noting there. So Tom Aspinall, offensive grappling. He's attempted 4 takedowns. All of them have been successful for a 100% success rate. Honestly, some pretty good takedowns, pretty fast takedowns. I think we saw a double leg in there, a nice outside trip in there as well. So mixing up the takedowns. About 300 control time, 300 seconds of control time over 4 takedowns, which is not a bad stat there. 2 sub attempts. I do believe that he has a couple of sub wins there as well. So, and then ground strikes landed. So out of 4 takedowns, he's landed 40 strikes. So worth noting, about 10 strikes per takedown landed there. Definite path to victory from ground and pound there. And then defensive grappling, I'm not going to go over. It's not going to happen. So fighting stats time breakdowns. Again, this is only at fighting stats here. We're going to break down the Alex Pereira side. 69% of his fight time is spent standing, 10% in the clinch, and then 16% on the ground there. When Alex is on top, which is rarely, we have him in full guard at 100% there. When Alex is on bottom, it looks like half of the time, 51%, he's in back mount, so he's somebody's on his back. 8% is in full mount. 16% in half guard and 24% in full guard. So majority of the time spent on the bottom will be in back mount for Alex Pereira. Whereas the Tom Aspinall side, again, 72% of his fights are going to be standing, 6% in the clinch, 22% of them are on the ground. Time breakdown, he's never been on his back. When he's on top, 55% of his time is going to be in back mount, 7% in side control, and 37% in half guard. So worth noting that the most time spent on the ground for Aspinall is in back mount, and the most time spent for Pereira against is in back mount. So would not surprise me to see some Aspinall on the back, maybe a rear naked choke side sort of thing. So striking tendencies, we all know Alex Pereira likes that left hook, but he does throw the jab 27% of the time. He likes to throw that rear leg kick in orthodox about 18% of the time, and then that left hook is about 11% of the time. On the Tom Aspinall side, I'm going to assume that's a jab there, throwing the jab about 21% of the time, throwing the 1-2 combo 13% of the time, and then he also has a nasty rear kick at 8% of the time, so worth knowing there. So some good stats there, good to break down. So let's get into the actual breakdown of the fight. We did see the Alex Pereira side. We did see the Tom Aspinall side. To start off with the Tom Aspinall side, there's not a lot to take of it because the fight tape or the durations of the fight are pretty low. Only really going down to the second round against Orlovsky, controlling Orlovsky up against the clinch there. But that's after beating Orlovsky up, throwing some big volume there, taking a breather up against the fence, and then eventually finishing Orlovsky in round number 2. Well-rounded, great on the ground, great on the feet, some nasty outside low kicks, and then what really gets me is the distance striking. We did talk about that in the stats. 19% distance striking defense. That's because he moves back anytime his opponents moves forward. He really uses distance well, where he's able to stand out of range. The only knock on him is that he does move back with his hands down, but it's because he's moving out of range with his feet, which I'm okay with. We have seen him take some big shots. Sergey Pavlovich landed a left hook. He was able to eat that there. So chin's on display. I'm okay with that. Cardio, again, really the only question mark, whether he looks good in rounds 3, 4, and 5. Haven't seen anything to indicate that he wouldn't be, but that's just worth noting. So on the Alex Pereira side, we all know what we sort of get. Decorated kickboxer. This, if he does fight Tom Aspinall, he's going for 3 belts in 3 different weight classes, so he's going to try to make history here. For him, what I've noticed from Alex Pereira, a lot of single strikes early in the fights, a lot of popping jabs, a lot of outside low kicks, not really conducive to a round 1 TKO. He'll only brawl if you close the distance and try to make it a brawl. Tom Apsinall, I don't think he's going to be that type of guy. So I think they're both going to stand orthodox. They're both going to open up orthodox, okay? So Tom Apsinall has been toying with opening up southpaw. You see him in southpaw for like 10, 20 seconds, but then he right away switches to orthodox because he feels more comfortable in orthodox. Alex Pereira, same thing. I don't think he's going to really revert from anything orthodox. So for both guys, it's going to be the outside low kick early, and often for both guys, Alex Pereira having a nasty outside low kick, and Aspinall as well. The only difference is that we've seen Tom Aspinall sort of lead with a light low kick, sort of like a Muay Thai stance, where he's heavy on the lead far leg, and the lead leg is sort of bouncing up and down. I think he's able to check the leg kicks of Alex Pereira, whereas Alex Pereira, I haven't seen him really check any leg kicks. I do think if Aspinall goes down to the legs, it's probably pretty even, if I'm being honest, in terms of leg kick power and damage potentially. Um, so I do think both guys can land leg kicks. I think it'll slow each other down if they do land. On the feet there, I think it's pretty live for both fighters. I sort of favor Tom Aspinall hands, and that's crazy to sound, but he has some fast hands, some really nice combos, working some 1-2 step back, another 1-2 sort of thing. So he has it timed. I really like the I think it was the Spivak knockdown or the Tybura knockdown where he threw a knee to the clinch or knee to the body and right away with the overhand right elbow there. So he sets them up. He sort of has his combos in mind. Whereas Alex Pereira, again, a lot of single shots, jabs, outside low kicks, jabs, outside low kicks. Not a ton of combos for Pereira. And what he does is he have to move back and throw the right hand or throw the left hand and sort of catch his opponent off guard. That's how he knocked out Israel Adesanya. That's how he knocked out Yuri Prohaska. Coming forward, he landed that left hook on Strickland, faked the jab, and come over. So, again, big power in his hands, but I think Aspinall, honestly, is going to be, I don't want to say more technical, it's just more combos. And I think the power is probably the same at heavyweight. The chin might be, a little bit better for Aspinall. I just haven't seen him get cracked. So I think on the feet, I honestly kind of favor Tom Aspinall to keep it standing, to land maybe faster hands. You do have to avoid the left hook of Alex Pereira, which I think he's done, and he's shown that in the Pavlovich fight, being able to manage the distance, really getting out of the way. And then Pavlovich did land a left hand and it didn't do anything. Aspinall was able to come back, feint right after it, so it wasn't even like Aspinall was rocked. He able to come forward and keep going. So that's on the feet. Now, on the ground, there is a huge gap here on the ground. Tom Aspinall has a huge advantage on the ground. I can't see why Aspinall wouldn't look to get the fight down to the ground. We did see it in the Alex Volkov fight. The best comparison I can make in the Volkov versus Pereira, both guys striker. Aspinall getting in close, getting the clinch, going for the outside trip, getting Volkov down. Once he got Volkov down, ran down some ground and pound. He likes some elbows from the top side. We talked about what positions that he gets into, and then from there he looked for a straight arm lock, able to submit Volkov right away. So we have seen Alex Pereira get controlled by Yuri Prohaska of all guys. We've seen him get controlled against Jan Blachowicz in round one before he got tired. For Tom Aspinall, he's a beast. He's been training BJJ since he was a kid. I see a huge mismatch on the ground, and I think it's pretty even, if not a small edge for Aspinall on the feet. So if I'm Tom Aspinall, stand there, take a couple of leg kicks, throw a couple of leg kicks, potentially bait Alex Pereira into throwing a leg kick and maybe catching it and getting him down to the ground. Tom Aspinall's entries and timing is very good on the double leg, even a single leg, to get him down to the ground. And then once he's on the ground, I really don't see Pereira getting up. He doesn't have great get-ups. He's using close guard from the bottom. I think it's going to be all Tom Aspinall early on the ground, throwing some big elbows. If he doesn't, I want to say he'll probably submit him within the first round or two. If he does survive into round two, same sort of thing should happen. I think Aspinall will find some success in round one, know that he has a huge advantage, and then go right back to it in round two and try to get him down. For Alex Pereira, again, his best chances are to stay on the outside, trying to get Aspinall in on a takedown. A couple of left hooks there, when he comes in, or potentially landing a guillotine as Aspinall trying to get in. We saw that against the Yuri Prohaska. His default takedown defense is the guillotine. We have heard about it in camp. We just haven't seen it. So it's possible maybe Alex Pereira finds a submission, but otherwise, I think this is all Tom Aspinall. I think he wins in the stand-up. I think he brings it down to the ground. He probably finds a submission within the first two rounds, if not knocking him out on the feet before that. So I'm looking at Tom Aspinall's side. I'll go into the numbers as well, but my gut reaction says Tom Aspinall is probably a little bit better everywhere. The size and the power advantage is going to be huge on that side as well. There's a reason that there's weight classes. I think in the history, anytime a light heavyweight has moved up to heavyweight, they've found great non-success. I think it's only like 20% of light heavyweights win or something like that, where not a lot of people moving up in weight win that, especially against somebody like Tom Apsinall. So My name is Artsy. This is Fighting Stats. I hope you enjoyed that breakdown. Let me know in the comments below what you think of this matchup. If this matchup does get announced, that we'll have the numbers right away. I'm going to keep that to our subscribers here at patreon.com/fightingstats. I'll let them know where I think the line should be. And then when it opens up, we can all hit that together. So again, my name is Artsy. This is Fighting Stats. Thank you very much for watching. All right, guys. Well, that is it for today. Thank you very much for watching. If you like this sort of content, make sure you smash the like button, hit the subscribe. You'll get notified anytime we put out new content. And remember, here at Fighting Stats, I lead a team of expert data scientists. We are working around the clock to produce these exclusive UFC stats, not available anywhere else. We do our tape study. We pair them with our stats. We put out our best bets. We put our best bets to patreon.com/fightingstats. That's where we put all our analysis, all of our stats. Join patreon.com/fightingstats to get exclusive access. Recently, we just hit $82,000. Yes, that's right. $82,000 parlay on one fight. We used our fighting stats to get there, and we won a massive payday. Our Patreon members had exclusive access to that, so they shared in the profits there. So don't miss out. Make sure you subscribe today. Again, my name is Art C. This is Fighting Stats. Thanks for watching.